Hey everybody, this is Joe Gilder with HomeStudioCorner.com, and today let's take a quick look at how to do a headphone mix within Pro Tools. And really this applies to any workstation, any DAW that you might be using. So it may be a little different in your world if you're not using Pro Tools, but you may run across a need to do this, and I thought it was worth talking about. One of my readers actually asked this question from the website, so I thought I'd do a video real quick. Okay, so what are we talking about a headphone mix? Well, let's say we have, in this session here, let's say we've got a singer coming in to sing this part. So we've got music going on and all that jazz, and everything's ready for the singer to come in and sing. But let's say we want to listen to the vocal at a certain level, but the singer's going to want it at a higher level in his headphone mix. That's certainly understandable, and the only way to do that is to actually have a headphone mix. Now, this is assuming you don't have a more advanced headphone mixing system like an Aviom system or a Hearback system, which some studios will have, but most of us home studio folks, that's a little over the top. We don't really have the bandwidth to handle something like that, or the cash, to be quite honest. But there's still ways to do it. What you do need, though, and something to keep in mind, is you do need some sort of a headphone amp. PreSonus makes a couple. There's the HP4 that's 4 channels, which is great. They make a 6-channel version as well. And the idea here is you're going to create your own mix and send it to a separate headphone amp than the headphone jack on your interface. And then that's what the singer is going to plug into to listen to. So how do we do that? Well, first off, aside from needing a headphone amp, you need an interface that will allow for a separate output. So if your interface only has a pair of outputs, your main left and right out, and there's no other outputs, then you're not going to be able to do this. But if you've got anything with an extra set of line outputs, then you're in good shape. And so the way we go about this is we're going to use buses to do our send. So if we come in here, hold down Command, and stop playback here for a second. Hold down Command and click on Assignments. That's going to show us all of our buses. So let's just find a free row that we're going to use as our headphone mix for the singer. All right, so we're going to go with B. Now, what we do here is we simply add a bus send to this send channel here on B. So I'm going to select all the tracks I want to send, which is pretty much all my audio tracks, and I'm going to hold down Shift Option, which lets me apply what I'm about to do to all those selected tracks, and I'm going to select an output here. Now, normally when you use a send for a reverb or anything else, you're going to use a bus, which you can certainly do, but buses stay inside of Pro Tools and don't actually go out to an interface or to an output on your system. So you need to actually, the easiest way to do this is to set this to an actual output. So I've got an interface connected that has multiple, up to 18 outputs on it. So I'm just going to select outputs 3 and 4 of my interface. So I click there, I say go for it, and now it's created a send to output 3 and 4 on all of these tracks. Now output 3 and 4 is just a 1/4 inch output on the back of my interface, and I can connect via a couple of balanced cables to a headphone amp of choice, and then we're good to go. And the way this works is you'll see that you've got levels here for each of these tracks. So essentially what this is doing is this is saying what level of the click track, how much of the click track is going to that mix. This is how much kick drum, snare. And so you just come through and you build a mix for the singer. Perhaps he doesn't want drums at all for some weird reason, and he just wants to hear his vocal and the guitar. You could do that for him, and you just come in here and you turn up the vocal, go find a guitar and turn that up, and that's his mix. So now he's hearing this regardless of what your mix is that you're hearing in the control room through your headphones or through your studio monitors. Now, a couple of things about this. If you're doing a full-on monitor mix for him and you want to do things like while he's singing, you want to solo the vocal and listen to that and make sure it sounds good, let me show you what happens. We're going to hit play here. Okay, so I've got a vocal track recorded. We'll assume that's him singing. So let's say we want to, as you can see here, we've got level going to all these sends. So you can see your levels. And these are just the levels going that are hitting the send, and this is the actual volume that's going. So right here, the volume's all the way down, so he's not hearing this track. This would allow him to hear it. But notice what happens when I solo the vocal. We've got the vocal still going to the output, but all of these you can see there's nothing on the faders here. That's because all of these are post-fader sends, which means they're only going to send based if there's signal going through the main fader on that track. So it's the same thing if I hit play here and I came over here and I muted this overhead track. That's muted, and now it's not going to that output. So that's not ideal, because when you're listening while he's singing, you may want to solo something to listen to it. You may want to mute something else, but you want to leave his mix alone so it doesn't change while he's singing, obviously. So come over here, just hold down Option, and click on this P here. And that P stands for pre-fader. Now, if we look at those levels up here, I can solo anything, listen to just that, and you can see he's still getting the same signal to his mix. And so all he can, when he stops and says, hey, I need a little more vocal, you say, hey, that's no problem. How's that? Perfect. Okay, let's go. Let's do it again. And that's the essence of doing a headphone mix. Now, as you can imagine, we can come back here to assignments. If you have more than one musician playing and you want to do a separate mix for each one of them, that's no problem. You just come in here and do the same thing on any of your other sends. So we've got 5 here. I think you have another 5 available. So you could essentially do a mix for every member of the band. Now that's getting a little complex and in-depth. You may not want to do that just for simplicity's sake, but it's good. It's a good idea to know how to do that. So that's how you do it in Pro Tools. Any other DAW is pretty much the same, but maybe just slightly different in different ways that it executes it. But that's it. So hopefully that was helpful for you, and maybe you'll have an option to use that at some point. Again, I'm Joe Gilder with Home Studio Corner. If you want to check out more stuff like this, I've got videos and lots of articles on my website, homestudiocorner.com. Go check it out, and we'll see you here on the next video.